So we've had a couple of trading sessions here for the euro to settle. Now that we're to the other side of the first round of this French presidential elections, what are we to make of the action and the prospects from here? Well, it does look like that second round will be a very easy victory for Macron, a margin on the order of 20 points. That is our strong assumption going into that May 7th final vote. I think longer term, the bigger importance here is these June legislative elections and what kind of parliament Macron has to work with, as he's likely not going to have very much of his own new party's representation in parliament. He's going to have to be able to build coalitions, having this odd combination of having come from a more left-leaning centrist party, but with some very sort of free trade or more free market style reforms that I think are very interesting, especially for unlocking what we think is France's great potential. Now, in terms of the euro itself, I think I'm still a bit divided here between the short term and the long term. Short term is a clear relief trade on the whole EU existential risk question. I think the trade could be a bit more interesting to express in a pure fashion in euro Swiss, where we've seen a very remarkable action to the upside, especially relative to the previous trading ranges. I think the euro dollar outlook is a bit more troubled by the fact that the dollar could be resurgent if we see the right combination of policy signals out of the Trump administration, possibly as early as this week. I have a hard time seeing the euro sort of outpacing the US in terms of yield gains if we are seeing a stronger, more pro-cyclical US yield curve response to something coming out of that Trump administration. So that's my caveat on euro-dollar. There could be a bit more of a rally if there's more US disappointment in the numbers. Trump continues to stumble, which could realize towards 110 and even 112. But I'm a bit cautious there. Again, euro strength could be more interesting in something like euro Swiss, even euro yen, although I think euro yen requires a general sort of global strong risk outlook. And I would suspect that the dollar would be strong if the yen is weak. So there are, of course, a lot of cross caveats in some of these trades. But that's the key outlook from here. But longer term, though, I still have this sort of niggling thing in the back of my mind with the EU and with the euro, that it really isn't about this French election in terms of existential risks going forward. It's more about Greece, which is going to come back again. There is an unsustainable trajectory there for its debt, but even more so Italy, where the existential threat really is much larger. It's on a timer. There is a fuse. The question is, how long is that fuse? Is that not until 2018 with the Italian elections? Does something come up later this fall? Very difficult to tell. European economy, broadly speaking, is doing very well. Great potential for France if the right combination of policies is put forward that are more pro-market, especially job flexibility, etc. But again, that longer-term existential risk is out there somewhere, could weigh down the euro a bit at some point in the next 12 to 18 months, even if the euro does look rather cheap.